Good morning, our people. We are live, and this is a special broadcast. We are here on Friday instead of Saturday, and we
Yes.
have something for you guys today. We are trying to, again, once again, make 1 plus 1 to be equal to 2. Because for the longest time, we are looking at 1 plus 1, we thought it was 11. So we are here. We are here to make sense of it all. So help us to share, to like, to follow, to hit the notification button, and all those nice things that needs to be done. I was told that if you guys hit the like buttons, that likely it will overcome what Facebook. We know they are working on our thing. We will overcome whatever else they are doing to make sure that people are not getting the news. But the good thing is that there's so many other ways that we are relaying this information to our people, and they're coming on board. As
Mhm.
you can see, we get a response from the criminal himself, Abubakar, on our constitution. Ewatro, the he goat, the fish showed up to respond. So people that we want to hear what we are saying are hearing what we are saying. We are not on the social media photoshopping this and this, gossiping, talking about the same thing, that doesn't make sense. We
Mm-mm.
are speaking to people that matter. We want to be at the table where discussions are being made.
Yep.
So, welcome to the program. This is going to be loaded so that we can make sense of it. Awakening is happening. I see it every day.
Yes.
Brothers and sisters, even here in America, they are getting it because a lot of them are not asking, oh, where can I go to Africa, Africa, Africa? The
Hmm.
hunger is there. So we need to create that atmosphere of brotherhood, of sisterhood, and understand what we need to do in order to overcome these challenges because that's all they are. They're just challenges, mere challenges. We can overcome it. But understanding the strategies to do that overcoming is what's important. So before I take off, because that's what I do every day and forget my date. Today is 5/27, 2022. My name is Mona Jim Saga. Let me allow my sister to come in and introduce herself.
Thank you very much, Sister Mona. Thank you, our viewers. Yes, please share, like, subscribe, invite your friends. We know we're coming on a Friday, but I mean, Nigeria, usually by Friday, people are like getting ready for weekend. So I believe it to still be okay. So please share. And my name is Dr. AP Simon Okube. I live in Lexington here. And we'll try to make us see, add the dots together, connect the dots together to make you to see a broader view, what you're looking at, like when they say there's this adage of when people were asked to view the elephant. Some people were describing the tusk, some people were describing the legs, different parts of the elephant. So when we come here, we add all that together and give you a picture, a holistic picture, so that you will make sense of what is happening in your environment. Please invite others to come in. We're trying to wait a little bit to give more time for people to join in so that they'll be part of this discussion. But while that is going on, we will give you food for thoughts. According to Pastor Kinsley Okonkwo, ignorance means you ignored knowledge.
Hmm.
That is, you did not want to know. Because if you were sincere and wanted to know, you should have sought information in those areas when you knew you were lacking. We are encouraged to work hard to acquire knowledge about rules and guidelines for everything. Be intentional and deliberate to acquire information. You see, nothing in this world happens by chance. All successful people took deliberate actions to be successful in the areas of interest to them. So please do not accept to be ignorant, especially when it has to do with your life and your destiny. Try and find out what happened, what is happening, and what will happen so that you'll be able to be on top of your games. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sister, for that. I'm sharing. So our viewers should give me a few more minutes and help us to share and send it out to people. I am super excited about our topic today, shaking off the yoke of slavery. And we know that slavery can stem from different directions. It's not just holding you with a chain on your neck. There's so many things that can hold you down and cause you to be a slave, that even when you're being taken for a ride, even when they promise you fake freedom, you're sitting there waiting for it. You're still a slave for freedom. So shaking off slavery comes in different format. And what we are going to do today is to show you how our colonial masters has been using it in multi-dimensional areas to deal with us one by one. And also the ones that we put upon us because we refuse to learn. We refuse to do the right thing. We want to carry fake news. We want to project things that we don't know anything about. We want to be involved in a movement or a group. We don't actually go into ask meeting. We are faking it, oh yeah, oh hell, this one, this one, this one. You don't even know what they're doing. And this is a chance for us to retrace our steps, understand what is going on, so that we can move in unison. We can move as one, as a unit, and get purposefully to our destination. That's important, that we get purposely to our destination. We don't want to be working with people that don't know what we are going. They just know that we are walking. They put on their gym clothes and jump out and start walking now. We want an informed participant. So our topic today says shaking off the yoke of slavery. So take a look around you and see that the world has gone mad. It is not really sudden onset of madness, even though it seems like it. In the last 20 years, the changes that we have seen are outrageous and unprecedented. Who would have believed that we could be the life full of desperation and anxiety? But the truth is that it has been building for a long time. The elites, who are the designers of our present world, they've been working hard behind the scenes, working even harder to maintain their cover. They've been conditioning the masses to believe the lies and hate the truth. The game has been stacked against us. The demonic spirit, the returning fallen angels, the cult groups, the satanic elite, the AI, the power of darkness, they have all been working together to bring us to this point. Sadly, it appears that they are very good at what they do. The masses seem to be in stupor. They are unable to dictate anything around them. They are hypnotized. Hypnotized, I'm sorry. They are hypnotized, living a fantasy world that is not even a pleasant fantasy. They are aware that everything is fake, but they are convinced that they like it that way. What one might think is wrong with our society? How can all this be happening? Well, it's time to wake up and figure things out, or you will find yourself wishing you had. Time is running out. The demons know that. That is why they're trying so hard to reset time. Darkness is closing in, and soon it will be night when no man can walk. We are already seeing the manifestation of demons and even fallen angels. We are literally seeing stars, angels falling from the skies. They are changing the sun, the moon, the star, but we can't even be sure if they are real or manufactured using technology. The earth is changing. Weather patterns are out of control. Nations are changing as the influx of illegal immigrants continue to mount by the hours. Governments are changing due to coups, military takeovers, compromised elections, corrupt politicians, and satanic influence. Our food, our air, our water are completely contaminated with materials and technologies that we cannot even comprehend. Our bodies have been corrupted with DNAs of animals and people. It has been fouled with nanoparticles and foreign proteins and metals. It won't be long, and we will not be human anymore. Some of may already been questioned. People are disappearing, never to be found. Hybrid creatures are appearing. Extinct creatures are being resurrected. Strange entities are coming out of the sky, out of the sea, out of the forest. Our thoughts and dreams are being read, invaded, and even implanted. People are willing to give up their human right just to walk to a store and go to work. We have all kinds of sexual perversion, gender madness, moral corruption, loss of faith, and rise of paganism and witchcraft. Violence is rampant in our cities, in our nation, in our streets. Bloodshed is a thing of the day. They just don't care. We are looking at bloodshed that comprise of animal, human sacrifice, cannibalism, organ stealing, and vampirism. Adrenochrome is the drug of choice for wealthy. Sex magic that includes torturing victims, sometimes as young as infants, to drink their blood and harvest their organs while their heart is still beating. There is no respect for anything, anyone anymore. For sex, it is anything goes, including date rape, including sex trafficking of families and friends. No one is protecting our children from indoctrination, abuse, and exploitation. Their little minds, hearts, and spirit are the mercy of sickest, narcissistic monsters ever to walk the earth. Can you see the insanity? Where do you think it originates? What do you think happened to cause all this mess? Everything has a spiritual root. Nothing happens without a spirit behind it. This is nothing new. It has been this way since the beginning of the earth. My people, we must wake up and shake off this yoke of slavery. This is by a sister, Cynthia. She did not write her first name, but my sister, we like to give credit here on our show. We don't steal other people's work and project it as ours. Our sister here did a very good job to sort of tie in all the things that we are seeing right now that doesn't make sense. So while my sister is talking, I'm going to pull up the first video of the day.
Yes, thank you, Sister Mona. What we're seeing around us is all over the world. It's just that in different environments, it will appear, you know, different. But it's the same demonic attack that the earth is facing. So when we talk about slavery, and as it concerns us, we have the spiritual slavery, we have this system of slavery, or if you like, call it colonialism or neo-colonialism, because all these are modified slavery. It is man's inhumanity against man. It shouldn't have happened at all in the first instance, and it needs to end immediately.
Hmm.
And you know what? We need to be intentional about ending this slavery. Anywhere we find slavery, be it at the community, the home, anywhere, it needs to end. We need to begin to fight for what is right. Do not give up. Even if you don't see the result immediately, keep fighting, but you have to fight the right way. Take historic events seriously. Don't say it doesn't matter. I don't want to know what happened before. Let's just move ahead. Let's just move ahead. Because your past controls your present and your future.
Mm-hmm.
You must be mindful of your past. Know what happened to your forefathers. Ask questions. Investigate. Examine things that you're seeing. Don't just take things at the shallow surface. No, dig deep and learn from them. Because you know what? Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. I can't remember who said it, but it's a quotation.
Martin Luther King.
Exactly. So we need to work hard to see that people get justice that they deserve. Continue to investigate war crimes and criminals. Don't say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's been a long time. No. Help to solve unsolved crime cases. Get laws in place to make sure that that is done. That's why Israel today, they're still solving the Holocaust case, because it's man's inhumanity against man. Involve other well-meaning citizens all over the world, because everybody is not like wicked. In every society, you must have some people that are of honor. Involve them. So in this video, we're going to see, because we usually show you this lady because she's also fighting for injustice. She's fighting for what is not, fighting what is not right, standing for the right thing. That should be what all of us should be doing. It's not okay for us to be an environment and be ignorant of what is, of our surroundings and things happening around us, the meaning of things around us. It's not okay. So we're going to listen to her. This video, she's tagged it Africa war zone for Britain.
Hmm.
How did this happen? What's the aim? Why did they do that? Please go ahead, my sister.
Of civilization, the heart of darkness, in the words of a certain Joseph Conrad. Centuries later, Africa remains ignored. It makes news for its conflicts, poverty, and exoticism. For the longest time, the world saw it as a lost cause. Then one country saw opportunity and thus began a new race for Africa, not very different from the scramble of the 19th century when colonial Britain and France wanted raw materials, slaves, and geopolitical influence. Now, in the 21st century, global powers are in more or less the same race. China, the United States, India, the European Union, Japan, Israel, Canada, all of these countries are in the race for Africa. And one country is emerging as the clear winner. Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay, and this is Africa, a continent of 54 sovereign states, 17% of the world's population, 9.6% of the global oil output, 90% of the world's platinum supply, 90% of the world's cobalt supply, half of the world's gold supply, two-thirds of the world's manganese, 35% of the world's uranium, 75% of the world's coltan, and 54 votes in the United Nations General Assembly. This is what makes Africa so attractive and makes the continent a battleground for global powers. There are numerous fronts: investment and infrastructure, military power, diplomacy, soft power, trade, geopolitics. Every country has its own interest in Africa. In 2016, Israel began its scramble for the continent. Benjamin Netanyahu became the first Israeli prime minister to visit Africa in 50 years. What did he want? Votes in favor of Israel and against Palestine in the United Nations resolutions. Africa and Israel share similar histories, he said. Israel went on to sponsor solar, water, and agricultural technologies. In the same year, 2016, Senegal co-sponsored a UN resolution. It condemned the construction of illegal Jewish settlements in the West Bank. What did Israel do? It cancelled the Mashav drip irrigation project. And this is just one example. Here's another one. The European Union has pledged more than $54 billion in sustainable investment for Africa. What does the EU want? Access to the African market of 1.3 billion people. Brussels has negotiated free trade agreements with at least 40 African countries. But does this ensure a balanced two-way trade? It doesn't. And no country has a bigger interest in Africa than China. China is funding 1 in 5 infrastructure projects in Africa. It is building every third one. Africa has an infrastructure deficit, and China has a signed checkbook. Starting 2005, China has invested at least $2 trillion in Africa. It built 6,200 kilometers of railways, including the continent's longest railway line connecting Ethiopia and Djibouti. Beijing has also built the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa. What does China get in return? A lot. Geopolitical influence to start with. Beijing is selling its culture, its currency. In Guinea-Bissau, exit signs are written in Mandarin. China has established at least 50 Confucius institutes across 33 countries. Several African countries use Chinese currency. China also gets a strategic overseas base. In 2017, China built its first overseas base at the Horn of Africa, Djibouti to be specific. Djibouti connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Indian Ocean via the Suez Canal. The base has the capacity to accommodate 10,000 troops. China also gets a market to dump its goods. China is Africa's largest trading partner. Chinese trade has increased 40-fold in the last 2 decades. At least 10,000 Chinese firms operate in Africa. This is according to a McKinsey study. Africa has resources and China has access. Did you know that a third of China's investments in Africa are in the mining sector?
Of course.
And finally, it gets to debt trap Africa. But here's the thing. China is not the only country investing in this continent. It's not even the biggest. The United States is Africa's largest investor. It accounts for $54 billion of FDI stock. There are 600 American companies operating in South Africa alone. And this, even after the US president called Africa this. For the longest time, Africa was nothing but a war zone for Washington. It has over 7,000 troops deployed in the continent. They're spread across some 13 African countries, including Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, South Sudan, Somalia, and Tunisia. For the US, Africa was a continent for counter-terrorism operations. What happened then?
All right, we're going to end this video here. Giuseppe, go ahead.
Thank you. So, all this we are hearing happening, like we said, it is not okay for you to live in this present day and not look deep into what is happening in your surrounding. You just go drink, smoke, move around with women or with men or whatever you're doing. That's how you want to live your life. No, that's how animals live. Human beings are supposed to think deep about things happening in their environment. Our elders, for instance, our politicians, our religious leaders, they watch them turn our children and our youth. They watch them radicalize them. In Nigeria, the youths that are being radicalized, it happened before our presence. We saw it. And nobody asks what is going on. But all that they're doing it so that they will become easy prey in the hands of those that want to kill them.
I want the resources.
I want the resources, steal our resources. That's it. That's why they make them to be addicted on drugs, make them to be addicted, be wayward, be anything, make them to be jobless, make them like weaponize poverty and religion so that you can kill yourselves.
Wow. Can you say that again? Weaponize poverty and religion.
Yes, they weaponize poverty and religion in Africa so that we can kill ourselves and they can take our resources. But if you're not looking deep, you will not see it. You think you're just going to church to worship God. God does not want that type of worship. The worship that makes your brain to be dull, makes it to be gullible, makes it to be docile. It is not God you're worshiping. God wants you to be active in worshiping Him. That's why He gave you the brain. If not, He would have made us to be like animals. We'd just be going around singing like birds. But He made us His own image so that we can walk with Him, build this earth with Him. He needed us. That's why He made us. He did not just create you to walk around and look around. And He created us and put us in the Garden of Eden and said, walk the garden. So, but these demonic people came and destroyed the earth and destroyed our world as it was intended to be. And that's why you see that their target is always uneducated, illiterate people, like Igbo youths. If you go to Igbo land, what is happening in Southeast, it's not ordinary. It was
Nope.
planned.
Intentional.
It was intentional. They will plan and use one man to execute it. They used one man to radicalize uneducated Igbo youths. And the Igbos, the youths that are living in non-English speaking countries like Germany, Finland, Middle East, Malaysia, one of them. Look deep, check these things and see. They easily brainwash them. Because when you're not educated, anybody can fool you and you cannot ask questions. So they use these things. In your mind, you want to agitate for freedom. In their mind, they want to take hold of that thing, that freedom that you think you love so much, that thing you want to agitate for. They will come into your midst, take hold of it, and use it to brainwash you and destroy your destiny.
And you have a genuine case for what you wanted in the first place.
You have a genuine case. But they will penetrate you. Most of the time, they will seek the so-called leader of such groups. They know what they're doing. They give them money. And that's why in this type of struggle, you cannot have a leader that loves money or lies a lot. Once you see a leader that lies a lot, he can be used.
Yeah, if you don't shoot me, if I lie, if you don't shoot me, you guys are very stupid and foolish.
Exactly. So my people, look deep. See what is happening around you so that you understand how to fight back, how to shake off this yoke of slavery upon you, upon me, upon us, upon our children. It's a yoke of slavery. It needs to be taken off. Please go ahead with the video. Okay, maybe I'll introduce the video while you're trying to pull it up.
One more alarm.
All right.
Asset stripping. The burning house of Lugard, the world calls Nigeria, is heading to its demise. Those who came to take it for themselves are doing all kinds of things to take all the important economic assets for themselves. And so, whether you were looking at the ports and the concessions behind the ports, or the oil and gas and the distribution of the oil blocks, or the bitumen and the limestone and the concessions, to whom were these things allotted? From whom were these things taken? Looking at this map, put all the beneficiaries of the allocations on this map and put the owners of the assets and the locations of the assets on this map. So you can see what we mean by asset stripping. And all by the instrumentality of the 1999 Constitution, particularly the exclusive list that confiscates those assets and make it property of federal government, which in itself is exclusively owned now and controlled by the Fulani. Fulani owns federal government owns the assets, and the constitution is the mechanism by which it is now codified into law. Nobody can challenge it. Exclusive. Don't talk, don't come there. The latest of the assets being confiscated on account of that constitution, big assets, the huge gas deposits in eastern Nigeria, the one you call the Southeast, Igbo land. Suddenly, there is a pipeline being laid to land in Kano industrial area and then taken across the North African stretch through the Mediterranean to supply gas to Europe. I'm sure we recall the gas project, the gas pipeline project from which China pulled off not long ago, when Ninas raised alarm about the foreign loans that were being taken recklessly all over the place. Then we remember recently that Buhari was boasting about how they were going to boost the economy of Nigeria by switching over to gas. Of course, the oil the global, how will I even describe it, campaign of beating down, where they say hydrocarbons, no longer, the importance of oil is being deliberately diminished. Yes, there are technologies that are replacing aspects of it. It's being deliberately exaggerated, that it's not of any importance anymore. While that is going on, gas is going to be the replacement, and eastern Nigeria has so much of it you can't believe. But Nigeria, that is the Caliphate Nigeria, the one Nigeria that is unitary Nigeria, as imposed by that constitution.
The performance was
Sorry, guys.
enchanting,
Money
completely
making
captivating
machine, they
at so
showed
many
up.
different levels.
That's when they will show up.
Yeah, if you do it by yourself now, they will block your video.
Exactly.
You
So
know, so
Never returning to
that's-
normal. That's strange.
So your
So-
show.
sorry, guys. I'm trying to. The video is almost done anyway. Go ahead, Sister Ipke. Let me just leave it there.
yeah, okay. So it was a little bit of what he wanted to explain. I wanted us to hear the gas, because Nigeria, like we said, Nigeria does not belong to you. So stop saying my country. It's not your country. It's a business, it's a company, it's a business entity that someone else, not your forefathers, somebody else set up and appointed managers to manage it for them. So it's not built for your own interest and the interest of your children. That entity called Nigeria, as hard as it is, because we know you have fallen in love with being a Nigerian, even when that Nigeria is killing you, you want to still be in love. It's like a woman that is married to an abusive husband. He's killing you. He said, but I love him. You're going to die loving him. But if you love yourself, if you love your children, you will pull out of that type of marriage. So Nigeria does not belong to you. The gas, the oil, they have drank the oil for years, for 100 years. Don't think that oil started just now. They started mining it before you were born. Before the so-called founding fathers of Nigeria were born, they had already begun. It's just that they wanted to now have more access. That's what they did, So now it's moving over to gas. All of a sudden, they told you, oh, oil is no more important. It's now gas. So the gas, they have piped, the pipelines are already laid direct from your land, from southeast to Europe, through Kano, through Mediterranean Sea, direct to Europe. So they don't need to come and meet you again to get it. The tap is open.
Mm-hmm.
Direct.
That's why they can comfortably cut off Russia, because they have a backup plan.
Exactly. And this was executed like 3 weeks ago. They signed in the documents. And you know what? The nation, this gas, we need it so much in Nigeria. We need it so much in Southeast. Aba needs it. Nnewi needs it. Onitsha needs it. This is what we're going to use to build the industrialization we are speaking of in Southeast, but it's already been tapped away. So with other solid minerals and other resources in that entire Nigeria. That is why Nigeria was built. Nigeria was not built for you. Nigerians that like singing and dancing, Nigeria was not built for you. It's a business entity. It is slavery. It's the height of slavery. And it's your responsibility to shake off the yoke of slavery. This yoke of slavery is your responsibility. We are saying, as a result, this land is being disputed. For those lending money to these rogue politicians, these so-called elders, these handlers of the hijacked illicit government, we are telling you, because they say every day is the day of the thief, but one day is the day of the owner. We, the owners of the land, we have woken up. You have stolen from us for years, kept us in abject poverty, weaponized religion, gave us Bible and Quran, and we are using them to kill ourselves. Why you steal resources in our land? There's nothing wrong with serving God, but serving God when your enemy is stealing your resources for the purpose that the essence of you being brainwashed with Bible and Quran is so that you remain stupid while your resources are taken. It is man's inhumanity against man. That is not the type of worship God said. No wonder he said, in the last days, I'm seeking for those that worship me in truth and in spirit, not in stupidity and docility. No, that's not what that place said. So please stop deceiving yourself by being gullible and stupid, thinking that that's what God wants. That is not what God wants. Those that are leading our people in the church and mosques, please, can you begin to educate our people properly and stop making us to turn against each other and kill ourselves? Because the enemy is bigger than you and I, and we need to work together so that we will improve our lives and destiny. So this other video now, you're going to see how they started this whole thing. Here we do show and tell. We show you the evidence. We'll go and search it out and bring it for you to see. Please go ahead, Sister Mona.
In the 1990s, one of the world's biggest oil companies. You've been exploiting Nigeria's oil reserves for a few decades now, without caring too much about the environmental damages you've been causing. But now you're facing a problem. The people of the Ogoni land, a region in southeast Nigeria with large oil reserves, have had enough of your business, and you can't blame them. Oil spills and decades of waste dumping have polluted their water supplies. People are forced to drink cancer-causing substances with every sip of water. Plus, farming and fishing have become close to impossible. Many men can no longer feed their families. So now that you've destroyed their lands, made them sick, and killed their source of income, a few stubborn protesters want you out of their country. That's not good. Because if you lose control of Nigeria, you lose out on billions in oil. So what do? You call your best friend the Nigerian government. See, during this time, Shell was so powerful in Nigeria that they had the entire military at their beck and call. Yes, a private multinational corporation had an entire country's military in their pockets. Which is kind of like if Amazon had the US military at their beck and call.
Oh dear.
And Shell wasted no time putting the Nigerian military to use. You tell the military to strike the protesters with force, no matter the cost. The results? Widespread bloodshed. A full-blown assault on protesters that could only be described by onlookers as, quotes, like an invading army that had vowed to take the last drop of the enemy's blood. 80 Nigerians dead. Almost 600 homes burnt down, all in the name of protecting Shell's bottom line in Nigeria. But Shell's fight against this opposition was far from over, and they were going to keep fighting as dirty as possible. This is the story of how one oil giant sucked a country dry for all its guts, while leaving a wake of death, devastation, and misery in its path. This is the story of how Shell stole Nigeria.
With everything going on right now and hurricane season approaching, it's a good idea to have life-saving
Sorry
food
guys,
that you
there
can
they go
access
again with their
at any
video.
moment.
So hopefully we can skip that part.
They don't want us to know. They want us to remain ignorant. How Shell stole
It
Nigeria.
doesn't matter how much money you make if the world around you has been destroyed. That's why I'm super excited to partner with Ren. Ren is the easiest way to make a difference in the environment. In less than 3 years, Ren has raised over $2 million in funding for environmental projects, and they've offset over 154,000
How many adverts are they going to run in?
Ren, all you have to do is calculate your carbon footprint by answering a few questions about your lifestyle, and then boom, you find out how big your carbon footprint is and how to reduce it. Then you just choose how much you want to donate every month. It's impossible to reduce your carbon footprint entirely. Amazonian people with modern tech like satellite monitoring and drones to protect their rainforests from deforestation. So he started to import and sell them from the Far East. When Marcus Samuel died, his two sons Marcus Jr. and Samuel took over. During a trip to the Caucasus in 1890, the region between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea connecting Europe and Asia, the two brothers came to realize the huge potential of the oil markets. So they wasted no time and started to restructure their business. They renamed it to the Shell Transport and Trading Company due to their father's passion for seashells.
The Rothschilds were active in the business. They built up a considerable position. They had a problem, though. They couldn't sufficiently market their oil. They needed markets, and they were interested in markets in particular in the Far East, where their potential was very great. They knew a person who traded in the Far East, who we thought had the vision and the guts and the drive to work something out, and that was Marcus Samuel. Having met the Rothschilds, Marcus Samuel recognized that he had a fantastic opportunity to create a new global oil trading company. He also knew that it was going to be very risky and dangerous because he was going against the most powerful international company, John D. Rockefeller Standard Oil. And he knew that Standard Oil would do everything it could to frustrate and prevent this new venture from getting off the ground.
By 1907, the company merged with the Royal Dutch Petroleum Company, and Royal Dutch Shell was born. They quickly became known as Shell.
The finances of the company had become quite dilapidated. And finally, one of Samuel's key employees told him that the only hope for survival of this company he created and that he really loved was to merge it with Detterding's Royal Dutch.
Shell's main goal was to compete with John D. Rockefeller's oil company, Standard Oil.
Rockefeller was pretty well everywhere. In fact, I suppose the nearest comparison I can think of would perhaps be IBM in the 1960s or 50s, a huge share of the world market. And therefore, if a newcomer was about to start in one particular market, he was able to squeeze them out by just slashing the prices in that one market.
Challenging Rockefeller's oil empire was quite ambitious, but thanks to the huge demand for gas and oil, Shell had many opportunities to rise to the top.
What is your petrol? Super Shell with ICA. Super Shell with ICA. Gives more go for what you pay. Family motorists in the know. Stop for Super Shell and go.
During the First World War, Shell was the main fuel supplier for the British Army and the only supplier of aviation fuel.
And there's a rather nice little quotation in the front of it, saying, without toluol, without petrol and oil fuels supplied by the Shell organization, the Allies could not have beaten the Germans.
What the First World War established was the strategic significance of oil, that oil, access to oil, possession of oil, the ability to use oil would be a critical element in national power. And that was one of the lasting lessons of the First World War.
Shortly after the First World War, Shell accomplished their goal. It passed Standard Oil and became the world's largest oil company. But Shell was far from done. It was time to keep expanding. But the problem with being an oil company is that you can't just produce more products out of thin air like you would if you manufacture cars, for example. No, you actually have to go out and find more oil reserves. The problem with that is that most countries are protective of their oil reserves because they know just how valuable it is. That's why you need to find oil-rich countries that are also poor. That way, even if they understood how valuable their oil was, they wouldn't have the skills or infrastructure to extract it. So they have to turn to someone like you. But on top of being poor, we also need one more ingredient, one more qualification for a country to have for us to want to take advantage of them. Corruption. That way, even if the people of the country don't want to work with us, we can just bribe our way in, abuse the people of the country, and still bribe our way out of trouble. Everything becomes easier when the government is corrupt. That's why by the end of the 1950s, Shell set its eyes on Nigeria, and it would turn into a true nightmare for its people. In Nigeria, you wasted no time getting to work. You form a partnership with Nigeria's government to make sure that no one comes between you and your billion-dollar profits. When wellheads explode and it pollutes the people's water supply, you just shrug your shoulders and say it's not your fault. You don't care if people's main source of drinking water has been poisoned. You don't care that farmers have to stay away from their own farms out of fear of igniting a fire. Or the few brave farmers who dare to return to their home have to literally swim through a sea of crude oil. Due to the polluted water, Nigeria's people were facing severe health risks. Families were drinking cancer-causing substances with every sip of water. It also had a devastating effect on farming and fishing.
The source of income is killed off.
All of this pain and suffering led to protests against Shell. They wanted Shell out. They wanted these foreigners to stop taking their wealth and destroying their home, but you were having none of it.
Of course.
With Nigeria's government in your
You're
pockets,
the judge and the
you
jury.
allegedly
You're
go to
the
them
God.
and whisper in their ears, if you want us to keep lining your pockets, you better get the military to take care of those pesky protesters. And in an instance, these protesters' fates were sealed. Shell, a private multinational corporation, now had an entire standing army at its beck and call, and the result was brutal. Guns went off, grenades were thrown, as the military launched a full-blown assault against all those protesters. In the end, 80 people were killed and almost 600 homes were burned to the ground. Witnesses saw the police rushing in, quote, like an invading army that vowed to take the last drop of the enemy's blood, end quotes. Shell now
Over
had
your
a
own
winning
thing.
formula. Whenever
Over your
there was
own
a protest, Nigeria's military would rush in to save the day. In April 1993, the military wounded 11 people who were protesting against a new pipeline. A few days later, troops opened fire on protesters at a village, killing one man. But Shell soon ran into another problem. The Nigerian military was poorly equipped to defend your oil operation. So you even allegedly provided the Nigerian military with boats, buses, and helicopters. And of course, they also get a nice paycheck for their violent services. After Nigeria's task force shot at thousands of protesters outside of Shell's compound, you feel nothing but gratitude. So you pay the responsible general and his men a nice fee, and you tell them that you're looking forward to collaborating with them more in the future.
The military men rape the women, torture you, they loot our properties, and they are burning houses.
But Shell's greatest enemy was still out there.
A very strange day is coming to America. In short, a massive and surprising new transition could soon determine the next group of millionaires, while leaving 99% of the public.
We're not seeing anything.
I stopped there because
Ken
they're doing
Saro-Wiwa was a Nigerian environmental activist. He was also the president of the MOSOP, the Movement for the Survival of the Agoni People. In 1993, a non-violent protest against the pollution of the Agoni lands, land, and waters.
We are going to demand our rights peacefully, non-violently, and we shall win.
Remember, the Agoni land is a region in southeast Nigeria with large oil reserves. But that protest didn't go as planned, because in the following weeks, Shell continued to expand its operations in the Agoni land, devastating more communities in the process, all with the blessing of Nigeria's governments. In the eyes of Shell, this activist Ken Saro-Wiwa proved to be a nuisance. He was the most stubborn protester you faced so far, an idealist who would stop at nothing to get Shell out of Nigeria. Saro-Wiwa and his MOSOP group started to sabotage Shell's infrastructure and even intimidated Shell's workers. And his strategy worked. Shell had to pause its operations in the Agoni land for a good amount of time, and every single day the operations were paused, you were losing out on tons of profits. All because of one man. Shell had found a worthy opponent, and it needed to teach this guy a lesson. And here's the thing. When you're faced with a worthy opponent and you have the opportunity to strike, you cannot hold back. You cannot show any mercy. Why? Because if you only crush your enemy partially, they'll eventually recover and seek revenge. That's why the only way to win is to crush your enemy totally. We're talking absolute brutality to make sure that they can never get back up. So you allegedly sit down with Nigeria's governments and map out a plan to take down Saro-Wiwa and his MOSOP group once and for all. Only 3 weeks later, you see your opening. 4 of the local chiefs were brutally murdered by a mob of angry youth. This was the perfect opportunity to pin those murders on your enemy. Saro-Wiwa wasn't in the area that day, but that doesn't matter. You allegedly make sure that he's arrested for enticing those murders, allegedly pay off a few locals to give false testimonies at the trial, and boom. Saro-Wiwa, Shell's #1 enemy, suffered in...
Oh, this is heartbreaking. But it's good to know.
Yes,
It's
my
good
people.
to know. Because it was Sani Abacha that killed him, right? Who did they claim that killed him?
Yeah, it was a friend. It was a civil friend's friend.
Yeah, so here we are. Now we know that Shell has something behind it.
No, I've always known.
We
know. It's just to show our people.
Right.
Because this battle, we're saying, is not a battle that you win with ignorance. And that's why Ninas is huge on educating the people. It's taking time to educate the people. Because you cannot just carry ignorant people to the main road and start shouting you're protesting. They will all get killed. You have seen the massive machinery that is against our people. Is this the battle you win with a stick and bottle? It is Aguche, brain work. Bring out the best brains. And then we go to the table and discuss. If you ever make it something that you carry wood and stick to go to the streets, they will eliminate you. That's what they were looking for. So that is not a strategy. Anyone telling you that the strategy they have for you is to go on the road and kill cops, kill this one, do something that doesn't make sense. That person is an agent sent to water down what you're doing and to destroy you. You can see the extent they went. They made the people ignorant, because when you're ignorant, you're fearful. And then finally, they stole Nigeria through militarization and terrorism. And eventually handed it over to their local agents, the caliphate, for the continuation of crime. They will have free access to resources unhindered. That's the aim. It's resource control.
They own the papa's land.
Yes. They're leaving the tribes to fight one another. That's why we say, please, those that are educated, go and talk to your traditional leaders. All these tribal wars must end. It's unnecessary. Your neighbor is not your enemy. The enemy is bigger. These are the real owners of Nigeria. According to Daily Media recorded 9, okay, from there we have many. 9 owners of oil blocks. They are not even from your land. They're from the Fulani. Top 9 are Fulanis. They're not from your land.
Yeah, that's a reward for a job well done.
Exactly. So you are the owner, you are claiming that you're the owner of your village. But Fulani man owns the oil under your land. Meanwhile, you're fighting your neighbors who are victims of the slavery also over few crumbs that are sending to you. Can't you see that you're helping the enemy? Instead of teaming up with your neighbors so that you can chase away the real enemies, you're fighting them. The first owner, the top one, is Alhaji Mai Daribo. He's the owner of OML 110 in Boronu. He's a patriarch and high yield. The oil well has an estimated reservoir of 500 million barrels. Assuming each barrel is $100, that is $500 billion. My people. The second person is Mr. Danjuma. All these names, you will know them. He's the owner of OPL 246, which exports 300,000 barrels of crude every day, each day. The third person is Abubakar, Abdul Salami Abubakar, the one that introduced
the constitution criminal. Okay.
My dear, there's a picture of him I sent. Can you pull it up for us, please? Because we want to show our people the face of the man who created the evil imposed military 1999 constitution and has the audacity to tell you, he has been there for 21 years. Why are you bothered? This man, go ahead, please.
No, it's funny though that he doesn't realize if you have a fake anything, if you have a fake passport, and even if you've spent 20 hours to get to the destination, they will immediately arrest you and turn you down. So the point that we are making, even if it's 1 minute wrong, 1 second wrong, that we must right that wrong. So Abubakar, the criminal himself, do not get to come and tell us what we need to do for something that we have already called fraudulent, Mr. Abubakar.
Something that we did not create. We did not make it. Constituents, I have to agree to be part of the union. Then I will now make a document, an agreement, union agreement to govern what I'm doing. I did not make it. And you're telling me that the fraud you imposed on me is 21 years? That why is it now that I'm talking?
Can you imagine? What an audacity, punk.
You handed us over through that 1999 constitution. You handed us over to your terrorist cousins. And you say, why are we talking? The fact is that we didn't start talking now. We've been talking. Please, if you see his picture.
I'm putting it up.
Okay. So he is the owner of NOML 122 and OML 117.
Yeah, why would he want it to stop now? Because he will have to relinquish the oil well.
Exactly.
So we should stay with 1999 constitution and die under it.
Exactly. You see, he said, you see this helicopter that they used to drop ammunition to bandits. He said he did not know. It belonged to him. This helicopter belonged to him. Yeah, he did not know that his helicopter was used to drop the ammunition for bandits. Yeah. So this, the oil company I mentioned, said by Colonel Sani Bello. Colonel Sani Bello himself is related to former Nigerian head of state, Absalom So it's family, this thing.
Business.
When they get, yes, they give to their friends, their cousins, their family. They do it together. So how will you think that he wants it to be stopped? So you see, he's fully rewarded for smuggling in 1999 Constitution and imposing it on the people. And you know what? He confirmed our worst fear when he granted that interview to Guardian a few days ago. All the things that we are like, oh my God, no wonder Nigeria is in the state that it is. He said that they told you that this document is killing people. And all you can say is that he has been there for 21 years.
What an insult. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
People have been killed for this thing that you did. People are dying for this thing that you did. And you're saying, why are we talking now? We are telling you that the constitution that is governing a federation has to be a union of other constitutions because it's a federation. The layman does not even understand it. You see, when you see some of the past leaders of Nigeria, you will say, no wonder Nigeria is in the mess that it is. Because they get the worst of us to rule the best of us. It is so sad. We are different ethnic nations. That's who we are.
Nations.
We don't make ourselves. We were nations before the colonial masters came. We were kingdoms and nations, not tribes. For those that keep saying, oh, tribal, please stop that, your ignorance everywhere. Stop that and stop irritating someone. We were kingdoms and nations before they came, and they knew what they did because of the resources in our land. They merged us in a very terrible place, crumbled us.
So that we'll be fighting each other forever and a day.
Forever we'll be fighting. Why they steal the resources? And you think this wrong should not be corrected first?
Unless there is no God in heaven.
We can't deny who we are. I'm an Igbo woman, like I keep saying, and I'll continue to be an Igbo woman, and I will not deny that. That's who God made me to be. If you don't know what your identity is, it's not my fault. You're having identity crisis. You better go for therapy. But as for me, I know who I am, and I'm proudly Igbo. That's the name of my nation. I'm an Igbo woman. The political arrangement they have called Nigeria was not meant for our people. It was meant for these slave masters, the people that came to steal resources in the land. So it's no longer okay for us to say, oh, we'll just allow the fraud to continue. After all, Chile's military constitution was up to 40 years before they pulled it down in 2020. The same thing with South Africa. The apartheid constitution was up to 80 years before they pulled it down in 1990. So what are we saying? And then he said something about transitional government. It's not this man I want to see yet. Bring the other man, that the Abdulsalami man that we're talking about, because it will be confusing as if it's this one. This one is another mumu from the other side. This Abdul Salam that we are saying, he said that, how can we have a transitional government? And I asked him, how did we have transitional government in 1993 when IBB was not aside?
Come for my rescue.
So it's just a picture, the other picture. Okay, but it's okay. So I asked him, I said, how did we have the transitional government? Yeah, it's better for us to just be. The transitional government that we have in 1993, when the Third Republic ended, it was headed by Ernest Sheneka. He was put in place. How was it done? That you're coming to tell us that, oh, transitional government is not in the constitution. Because you know what is more good in. That's what we're saying. That those who imported these terrorists and mercenaries into Nigeria, they are not qualified to continue to occupy Aso Rock. Because he will hand over the key of Aso Rock one day to the terrorist. And you know what will happen if that happens. That's the plan. You can see them going there gradually, they're going there. If that happens, tell me, how will you conduct the 2023 election? It does not make sense. So this is a third group. The fourth person on that list, the people that are stealing our oil, for you to know, some of these names, you go and look for them. We'll post the link in our website so you can see where it was published. Alhaji Muhammad Ludimi, I don't know how to pronounce their names, is the owner of OML 115, Old Work Field and Ibok Field. These are not people in our land, yet they own oil blocks in our land. Number 5 is Alhaji Kele Salah Gambo, who owns and runs Northeast Petroleum Limited. He owns OML 215. Number 6 is Alhaji Kantata. He's the owner of OML 108, which is run by Express Petroleum Company Limited. Number 7 is oil well owner Alhaji W.I. Folawiyo, is the man behind OML 113, which is located in Nigeria. Number 8 is Prince Nasiru Ado Bayero. Is the owner of a few oil wells and currently manages Saplat Petroleum. The oil well can produce 300,000 barrels of oil on daily basis. This equivalent is $30 million monthly.
These people are so wicked. They are not even using it to help their people. Can you imagine?
Not. The president of Nigeria and their families own some of the most popular oil and gas exploration companies in the region. Atiku Yaradua's ties with oil and gas are extensive. There are many of them, and what we're saying in essence is that these people are the owners of Project Nigeria. If Nigeria was put together so that the oil, so that they will have easy access to steal the resources in the land. And these people are the owners of the block, so-called owners of the block, because the people that didn't know what they did, they gave it to them so that when they give them 5%, they will take 95% and go. So that 5% they have is enough for them to do anything they want to do. So that the ones that produce your president, that the one that produce your senators, that the ones that produce, that are in charge, that the kingmakers, and you will never get to get the people, the type of people that should lead you.
They are the one that makes the constitution.
They are the one that made the constitution. So all we're saying that Nigeria is a fraud. And for us to get the type of life that we need, that we are supposed to get, we need to readdress this fraud, starting with the 1999 constitution, so that the Nigeria or whatever nation or whatever you're standing for, your land at least will be your land, and you will begin to live like human beings, not living like animals. The life that others live everywhere. Nigeria is number 6 oil producing country in the world. Now they have discovered gas. So our people should be living like Americans. They should not be migrating to everywhere. The fact that our people are migrating all over the world shows that something is not right. And I don't need anybody to tell me what is going on. I know that something is not right. And those of you that are playing games with our minds, you better stop, because this thing has to end. This slavery has to end immediately. We are not waiting. It has to end. There's a video my sister wanted to. Please go ahead. Go ahead. I will just keep talking like it's so
Might get they need to hear. From here, they will start doing. We're telling you guys that nobody is there for you. They are all business partners on different levels. Some of them collect their membership from their senatorial position. They collect their membership or their own cut from being your governor. They are all business partners. And you can see that they're not even there for you. You will see them on TV. They were wearing the Rolex watch, talking big, this and this. When it's all said and done, when they hear a gunshot, they will lay down on the floor, stomach like an infant. They will lay flat on the floor and start calling on Jesus. That's the only protection they have for you. That's it too. So tell me how somebody that cannot protect himself can protect your name. It's even with the money how when Hazudigi machine gun game when the enemy comes, they will just release it. Yeah, nah, but they couldn't even do it. No, I forgot they built a palace. That's all. And these criminals will have the audacity to be calling upon God when they have been sitting on the necks of children of God.
Imagine.
Go with impunity, be life. Get a for breakfast. Only when you hear a gunshot, now you become a man of God, a prayer warrior. and lay on the floor.
It's unbelievable.
No, it's not unbelievable, my sister. It's a revelation from God. God wants to expose them to let us know that nobody is there. Nobody is home. Nobody is home. Don't get it twisted. Don't let their eloquence deceive you. Then, Lord, don't let their PDP, PFD, BBD, APC deceive you. Nothing mega. Nothing. They are all vulnerable. And they will lay on the floor at the sound of not even a noise, just maybe a gate cracking open without them knowing. Nobody is there for you. That we cannot put our lives in the hand of someone that cannot protect himself. How do we intend to protect us? Please, Kawaranum. Business partners. They will call you to visit 10 Downing in London. The next day you go and announce you don't want to run anymore. Maybe they have threatened your life. So I just made run. Corruption. Whereas you're the head of corruption. Because you guys know how to speak and pretend and deceive our people. You've left them so hungry that anything you say now is so sweet. You use religion to hold them down, where you ask them, if somebody slaps you, hey, what would you do? I will ask you, maybe I'll turn the other cheek. And we are here to tell you that logic says when somebody slaps you, throw a bomb, explode them. There's nothing logical about somebody slapping you and you're waiting for Jesus to come. Jesus will give you on the other side himself.
Is it the Jesus that told you to get sword, that the days ahead will be terrible?
Oh.
Well, I don't even know the Bible they read. Which is why even Jesus warned you that that Bible, you should read it well and divide it very well and add it and make sure what you're reading is making sense to you. Don't quote things out of context. So we're going to show you this, our brother. We interviewed him recently and he was speaking so eloquently. Give the people food. All they have is poverty. Once you give them food, everything, that's why I want to be president. When I become president, I'll give everybody food. They are breaking through his wall because his house, he put bulletproof windows. They have to go through ceiling to break through into his house. A whole senator, former governor. See how he's humiliated and treated like an ordinary criminal, like a dog. This is the Nigeria they want us to keep our children inside.
Hey!
They say they want to be president of it.
Yeah, we'll get saved on Facebook Live. Oh, Jesus Christ. So put it on Facebook so people will see me and come and save me. That's a strategy.
So far, you are under 1999 Constitution. Your leaders are nothing but puppets to the real owners of Nigeria. They will use them and dump them. See them, useless. You can play, my sister.
Humiliating.
Come for my rescue. Come and help me, my Lord, my God. Come and help me, my Lord, my God. My Lord, my God. Come and help me, my Lord, my God. Help me, my Lord, my God. Come and help me, my Lord, my God. My Lord, my God. Thank you, mighty God. Okay, thank you. Can I open this door?
This is how EFCC is coming in to pick somebody who has not done anything.
You're done something who knew with criminals. You and the EFCC who knew at the same time.
Guys, this can only happen in Nigeria.
Yeah, it can only happen in Nigeria. Your father wants to be the president of Nigeria. This is where he wants to go.
The prison yard called Nigeria. Maximum prison, where all of you are detained. Your destiny is detained. That's what it is.
Every day, God is showing them where they are. This is it. It doesn't get any better than this. This is it. Instead, it will get worse. So don't get it twisted. He has all this money, all this whatever, all this, and look at what they reduce him to. Afro-man and calling on Jesus. As if Jesus is the head of their criminality. Yes, let me call Jesus. Save him.
At the end of all this is Jesus.
At the end of all this is Jesus.
That's why we're telling you, our people, do not allow them deceive you with their sweet talks. They cannot even deliver themselves, let alone deliver you when the chips are down. We have told our Igbo traders, P2B, and even this one, he said he was a trader. The problem we have Nigeria is not the one that Igbo traders will be the one that will. This is not buying and selling issue. The problem of Nigeria is too complicated. It's not about buying and selling. P2B, Bikonu. Can someone tell P2B that the problem of Nigeria is not about buying and selling? Igbo man, everything that comes to you said is buy and sell. He thinks that buying and selling will solve all the problems. We're saying that Fulani is about to invade us. You are bringing economic solution to Fulani invasion. Does it even make sense? Even UN have come to say that our constitution is unworkable and is pressure cooker for injustice. That under 1999 constitution, that Nigeria will remain a threat to global peace. Is this buying and selling? Can people tell P2B and the brothers and sisters, all these Igbo people, Igbo traders, that think it's their turn to become president of Nigeria? Can somebody tell them that the problem of Nigeria is too complicated? It's not buying and selling problem. Now he's running away from the bazaar that PDP was doing the other day. They call primaries. It's bazaar now.
It's so bazaar.
Yeah. They take 2 goats and a cow and give to Mr. Chief, this person, and put $200 on top. Put 20,000 on top. They say it's delegates they want to get. It's bazaar they're doing. Even Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has declared the process total failure. Imagine when a delegate will get $20,000 from each aspirant. That's like 47 billion we're talking about. What is that called? What process is that? What do you call that electoral process, Beacon, my people? Help me answer. Meanwhile, they will rig the list that eventually the real delegates are already selected and they have the list. If you go and watch that video, we'll post it where Goodluck was giving the details of what was going on. This is pure slavery. It needs to end now. No wonder we're not going anywhere. Yet these criminals and gang of thieves want us to trade freedom for their sham election and sham power. Peter Obi, you become president of Nigeria. Does that give you power to do anything in Nigeria? It does not. Because the owners of Nigeria will not allow you to do anything. They would rather kill you off. You saw what they did to Goodluck. Goodluck came to do so many things. They removed him. If he did not go, they would have killed him. Is this Nigeria that Gowon and Obasanjo and IBB and all of them killed 3.5 million Biafrans to build? No wonder death is eluding them, because God wants them to be alive to see the collapse of the evil, the nonsense that they created called Nigeria. This is the Nigeria you want to preserve, Obasanjo? A nation that eats its own, a nation that kills its own and eats them up. Is that what you want to preserve? I would think that people that have nations like America will want to preserve America, because you can see people prospering. People that were nothing, when they get to America, they begin to pass school, begin to get degrees, begin to prosper. But people that were something, when they enter Nigeria, they collapse. Is this the thing you want to establish and keep? Are people not wicked? Is this not wickedness of the highest order? How do we do it? Other nations did it. There's terror everywhere. They have racial terror, religious terror, tribal terror, ethnic terror. But eventually the people did something about it. What is new is when people accept terror and turn it into comedy. That is what is not acceptable. People not standing up to stop terrorism instantly. Rather, they are waiting to go another round to preserve it for another 4 years.
Or make light of it.
People will say, what do we do? Those that are listening, those that are watching, because we know some of our people are really listening. We appreciate you. We appreciate those of you who can't call your names, but you're standing up and speaking out against evil, even to the detriment of your lives. There's a brother that is very vocal about the sham freedom fighting they're doing in Southeast. So many people should come out. You people know the truth. You know these things. All of you in IPOB, those of you, you women, you were contacting us. You were showing us videos. You were telling us what was happening to you. Don't keep quiet. Begin to speak out. Because you know what? The evil in Southeast has to go down. Now the politicians are making it because they sponsored that carnage. It's the politicians of Igbo land, the politicians in Southeast that sponsored the fake freedom fighting group in Alibo.
Yep.
The people genuinely wanted freedom, but the politicians were bought over to sponsor, to direct them so that they will use them like Boko Haram. We have said this before. The way the politicians in the
and
north
destroy a genuine cause.
exactly. The way the politicians in the north use Boko Haram and Sharia to destroy that northeast and northwest is the way the politicians use the genuine cause, the genuine struggle for freedom. They came in, penetrated it, and took over and put one of their agents to head it. That's the same one that made space for him to enter DSS. Because you know what? He is safer there. If he's in the midst of Alibo people will kill him. Because he has stepped on so many toes and they know it. And I once told him that directly. I told him, I said, the dogs that you created will eat you. They will eat you.
Yep.
He knows. That's why he's hiding in DSS. He's not in any detention. It's the politicians that organized and put him there. Let's listen to one of our fathers. Way forward. People are saying, what do we do? What is the way forward? Mobilization and sensitization. Go ahead, please.
So what do they expect of us now that this war is on our doorstep? Of course, there has got to be civil mobilization. And if we keep waiting for this to be centrally handled, we're all going to become, if we're not already, slaves in our own land. That for me is personally intolerable. It's not an acceptable condition.
You're already slave.
And whatever it takes, I stand ready to contribute in any way.
What happened?
It's a short
What
video.
do they expect?
Okay.
It just call to action, calling our people that we need to mobilize ourselves. We need to sensitize ourselves, not the evil one. We have shown you the ways not to go. Don't go and enter streets because you want to agitate. We agitators. Then you guys start doing things that are not inside book, that there's no strategy, there's no plan, there's nothing whatsoever. Just people that want to make money and make fame. That is not the way to go. Mobilization and sensitization, Ninas has put a strategy on the table for us that will keep you alive because we want you to be alive. We have shown you at the beginning of this video, this presentation, the machinery put in place against you. This is not child play. This is not what illiterate children will just enter. My people say, oh, hey, well, basically, it's not the type of dance you put tobacco inside your palm and you're holding it and dancing. No, this is serious dance that you even be doing hand like this. So you have to pay attention to what Nina is saying. Instruction, which will talk about information. Send out this information. Get other information from Ninas. You need to understand the capacity of the enemy that you are up against. You need to understand their strategies so that you stop fighting one another. This is not tribal war. No, don't make it tribal war that you're diluting it. Oh, Southeast will say is Indi, but we say it's Southeast. No. Your enemy is not even living in your neighborhood. Your enemy is in another continent.
Our enemies, they are definitely in another continent, my dear.
And you're busy fighting your brothers and sisters. Please, anywhere there's a tribal war, can you talk to the people and bring it down? Say no. It's a call to stakeholders. I think it's a video. Is this one the one that is a call to stakeholders?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
The alliance is sending out a message to the lawyers in Nigeria. We have corona now, and everybody's looking towards the medical community, the pharmacists, all the people who can find the answers are in the medical circle. The lawyers in the land, the Nigerian Bar Association particularly, must step forward now to take a position on this matter of this constitution, because they are the ones who ought to know. But it's unfortunate that all of the senior advocates and human rights fighters all over the Nigeria, professors of law, all they're interested in, from what we found out, all they're interested in is what they gain, what they make for themselves from this rotten system. Electoral petitions, where billions are used to, so that is all they are after. They want to go to the next election under this dubious constitution, and then billions will have to move around between them and the winners and losers and the judges. That's all they are after. But we must hold them accountable for their role in sustaining this fraud. They are the principal helpers of the politicians that are keeping this constitution alive. What are the lawyers in Nigeria doing? We've been telling them this since 1999. They have constantly sabotaged any effort to take down this constitution, because their bread is buttered by the kind of things that are the corruption cases. EFCC is dragging somebody around, somebody is accused of 200 billion or 50 billion. The lawyers, that's what they want to do. Election petition, EFCC. They are not interested in helping take us out of this mess. The men of God in the land, this message is also directly, being sent to you. In South Africa, there was a man of God called Desmond Tutu. He had the opportunity to become whatever, to make any type of money he would have wanted to make, to buy private jets and build private university. But he decided to use the pulpit, to use the facilities and infrastructure of the church to support the liberation struggle. And the collaboration with those ANC and all the others, they were able to rescue the people. Where are the men of God? Where are the bishop? Where are the Desmond Tutus of this land, of Nigeria? What we see here, on the contrary, is the men of God collaborating with the enemy, collaborating and asking people to go and get PVC, plastic printed by the enemy, that is holding AK-47 that will decide the matter. The Church of Nigeria must now rise up and join the people. You cannot be pouring olive oil on the tormentors of the people who come to cry to you, and then gather all the money from enemy and from them to buy private jets and build private universities they cannot attend. You must stand up now to take a position on this competition between falsehood and truth, on this competition between darkness and light, on this competition between truth and falsehood. You must take a position now, openly. There's no silence that will be golden. If you do not speak up, you are working for the enemy.
They are.
Nobody will interpret it differently. The political actors, the ones who are contesting the election to go and get profit, you are being told now that you will be counted as that enemy if you are found on the side of that constitution. We have ample time to stand up and join our people. If instead of coming to join in the task of taking down the constitution, you are found on the side of those trying to sustain the constitution, you will be treated as that enemy. Nobody is beating up anybody now. Nobody is chasing anybody now. We are only inviting all the stakeholders to make up their mind where they want to be before it becomes rowdy, because people are being killed in large numbers. They are not going to fold their arms forever. They are going to try to save themselves. Don't put yourself in a situation where you'll be counted as part of the enemy, as facilitating the enemy, as working with the enemy. If you do not stand up and join your people on how to take down this constitution and recover their lives for them, you will be treated as that enemy, not anybody from afar.
This is a call for stakeholders. If you are a lawyer in our land, you're a stakeholder because you have information that people need and you know the truth. If you're a church leader, Mbaka, Reverend Mbaka, send this video to him. These people are the ones that will bring Buhari for you and tell you good luck is a bad luck. Olo no mume. It's time now to save the people. It's time to rescue the people. You will think we are calling and begging for you to help, and you think we're going to continue to beg and cry for you forever? No. The Lord will raise help for his people. Hear me. The Lord, the God of the universe, will send help for his people. And you know what? On that day, you will cry for not helping the people. You will regret for not helping the people. Because you know what? Internet will remind you. Those of you, those Igbo traders, we warn you again. Our problem is not Nigerian presidency. Don't bring your animal farm economic solution for massive insecurity challenge and war situation that is going on in our land. You do that, you are trading our freedom for power, your selfish power, your selfish ambition. You're not helping us. There's nothing your presidency will do to us. Your presidency will not free us. What is holding us is bigger than Nigerian presidency. As the Nigerian presidency, you're just head of the slaves. That's not what we need. We want freedom. We want our people to be liberated. It is called liberation struggle. When we are liberated, we know how to provide our own food. We know how to provide, we are hard workers. We know how to set up. There's nothing economic that you're quoting. There's no statistics that you're quoting that we don't know about. Our people already have degrees on this. So it's not new. Please, somebody should go and speak to them. Join the people in their liberation struggle. What we need is not what we need is freedom, self-determination. The call for multi-regional referendums. The world will witness it. We will be part of it. We're not saying Nigeria will give us referendum. No, that's not what we're saying. We are telling you that we are indigenous peoples. We own our land. So we don't need any fake Nigeria to give us referendum. But we need to work together in collaboration to do what we need to do. A transitional government needs to be in place because somebody has to be managing the day-to-day affair of that cave, that slave camp. While we do what we need to do. Ninas has a proposal on the table. Go and look at it. Stop moving around. Nigeria is not a disputed union. And it has to be resolved peacefully. We do not want war. There's no need for war. We are not in a political union yet. We were forced into this prison. It's a union of death. And our people are dying every day. So Nina's proposition will help us to end this forced marriage that we didn't even give consent for. It's as simple as that. We say this every day. The only reason we are repeating it severally is because it will happen. It's coming. Announce this, send this announcement. I remember when Elijah was giving prophecy, somebody did not believe that it was going to happen. And he said, you know what? You will see it, but you will not partake of it. There are people in our land today that will not partake of this thing that we're talking about. Our land will be free. Our people will be free.
Amen.
Our people will not be governed by constitution made by uncircumcised Philistines, by constitution made by Fulani Caliphate and their British partners. It's crime against humanity. Our land will be liberated. Our people will be liberated. But you know what? All of you politicians that are selling us out, refusing to support us, there will not be a hiding place for you. You will run because the land will chase you. Say we did not warn you. As daughters of the land, we are warning you. The land will chase you. because he did not support the people to be free. Go ahead, please, Sister Mona.
All right. Thank you so much. Our brother Uche Kede says, Sir, you are strongly right. So I don't know exactly what he's referring to. So continue to like, share. It's time to call in if you want to make a contribution. My sister had made a great point today that if we want this freedom that we are looking for, we must follow the due process. We must follow the protocol, not random people on air doing photoshopping, lying to you, telling you they're in White House. We're talking about something that will actually help us to get to our destination. So continue to like, share, whatever else that is done online to get other people to hear this good news. This is what's holding us down. I gave an example during Christmas time as having a Christmas present that is dropped in your front door, but you never went to open it. You didn't even open the door, talk less of knowing that you have a present on your doorstep. So Ninas has done the work for us. We just need to understand. And with people are getting it. If the criminal himself of Abubakar oil well owner can come respond to our this thing on guidance. So we're making progress. We are not faking it. So we are asking our brothers and sisters to come out from the forest and stop following fake falsehood of freedom. People that we are paid agents to come and destroy our people, and they're gaining from it. They have amassed a lot of wealth from it. They have confused the hell out of our people. It was all strategic. They were paid to do this. And guess what they use? My sister said they will use religion. He used religion. Oh, Chineke, and you will be shaking in your pants. It was all part of that strategy. So wake up, dust off yourself. It's okay. Anya adala na mmiri dọtị. It's okay. Dust off yourself, clean your mind, and understand the process if you want this to be done. UN is not coming. US is not coming. You can see they own the shell oil in our land that is destroying everywhere. And right now they are cutting off ties with Russia, and they're looking to continue to supply themselves with oil because even though it's very cold over there, by stealing our resources once again. But they're waiting for us. They're waiting for us to wake up. They are waiting for us to wake up. You can see that your sisters and brothers in diaspora, especially in Malaysia, they are living under such a harsh condition. They don't know their left from right. They are still, even you that is in the village may be doing well, because when you are traumatized, when the immigration officer is chasing you and you have to jump from 12-story building, you will never be the same. It changes everything. It's a game changer. So we are dealing with people with defaulted mind, people that don't know who they are anymore. They're speaking Igbo, they're speaking your language, but the situation, the condition in the area where they are has done a number on them. So don't let anyone from diaspora give you an order to go and kill, to go and destroy, to do all these things. No. What we need is for people that call themselves government and governors is to start building skill acquisition center for our people. Show it to them. Show it to them on the evening news. Ask them to put an application. Let them put their names down, do some interviews and share that online. Give our young ones hope so they can come out of the forest and stop telling stories about I was on gun, no gun, I'm gone, no man, or whatever they're calling themselves. We can do better, my people. There are options on the table. There are options on the table. Thank God that you have a brother who, even despite your insults, continues to work on our behalf, continues to do the needful, because we recognize that you guys are gone. Una alago. There's no other way to describe it. You guys are gone, 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 gone. So, and we thank those talking about constitution, because for so many years and so many more, they pretended like they didn't understand. They wanted to go and get PVC. They wanted to run up and down. So they have all run in circles, and they recognize that no way behind ada. The politicians are still the same ones that if you knock on their door, they will be flat on their stomach calling Jesus. Jesus is the gunshot that they have. They are not there to save you. So we said to repudiate the 1999 Constitution. And then after that was done, we went on to do a constitutional force majeure in
2020.
2020.
Yeah, 16th December 2020.
Right. Yes, it's in December 2020. And my sister talked about transitional government. We need those criminals there to be holding the fort down while we are getting through this process. We are not leaving it for bingos to go and manage. We are not leaving it for animals to go and manage. We are leaving it for people that are already in there they should do the right thing, and we move forward. And we talked about referendum, because some people are still mentioning referendum as if it's not part of Nina's strategy. You have to understand that the criminal that used referendum to distract our people took it from Nina's strategy, but he did not add the rest of the things that needed to be done in order to get to referendum. What he did was ask us to contribute money, and money, like Sister Kwi reminded me yesterday, we contributed so much money we wanted to die, people, for referendum. Contributed money, especially me, they make me dry because I cry too much. Yeah, they will tell us they will buy a solar system for the media house. We pay for it for transportation. How much would it cost to buy it from China and ship it from to Nigeria? They gave us the whole amount, only for us to hear that they brought the solar and the antenna was taken to the north, that we need to bring more money so that the person that this is, you will not believe
419, pure 419. Pure 419, the story, the type of,
yeah, that we need to pay another money, that the truck dropped off the solar and drove away with the antenna. We need to bring more money so that they will pay to bring back the antenna, like things you've never heard.
Or we'll buy another antenna.
Or we'll buy another antenna. Fraud.
And then we need cow shit to put it, we need to pay for cow shit, because cow shit will protect it from thunder.
Well, we were taking on a ride, my people. So while we are running the evil forest, God went ahead. We cannot blame God on this. So He has done His part. He went ahead and got our brothers and sisters to be working on this proposal, the strategy that we can use to get ourselves out of these things. And until we get that, also the body, also the promote P2B, because all our people now, that's what they're doing. P2B this, P2B that, P2B, the same P2B that was governor when they killed our boys. Throw them in the
Ezu River. He was the one that masterminded it, because he wanted to kill them. Like he used them to get into office. Then he now wants to kill them off. You understand? So that they will silence them. Freedom. So that they will silence them. For people that say, oh, get good governance. Once you get good governance, then everything will be okay. He came in, silenced our boys, threw them into Ezu River for his life to continue smoothly. Did his life not continue? His life continued. Now he wants to go and do the same thing at the national level. Kill all of you. Then he will continue. And they'll be praising him. He's the Messiah, the economic Messiah of your soul. Stop deceiving yourself. Go ahead, please.
Stop deceiving yourself, indeed. So please, my people, as mothers, as sisters, as aunties, as your neighbor, however else you can see us, we're asking you guys to take it down a notch, wire it down, to go look for a way to find some type of something that you can be doing for yourself and not criminality. Do not allow yourself to be the one on the middle of the road that they have blood on their head and they're going to kill you and do all these things to you. It's not even fair. It's heartbreaking to watch, unless if you're a criminal, unless if you don't have a heart. That is the only way you can see all those things and go to bed at night and sleep. We have an alternative on the table. Nina's has done the job, understand the process. And once again, I do want to say thank you to those people explaining these things. Nina's has done the job. We are on Guardian newspaper telling you guys how this is done. And now the man that wrote the Constitution is out there also speaking on that. That's huge, my people. That's huge. Don't think he's speaking on his
criminality.
Confirming his criminality. So don't think he's there doing it on his own. His stakeholders, just like we have stakeholders that our brother mentioned earlier, they have their own stakeholders. They are the one that told him to go give that response. He didn't wake up to give it. So he's a company, right? They've had their CEO meetings and now this is the response. We need to let them know that we understand our rights, we know what to do, and we are going to do it. You've stolen from us over how many years? It should be enough. You will go nyoshi. You ate organs, you did it all, and it's enough. You have amassed enough wealth to let my people go. Shell, BB, whoever, ExxonMobil. Imagine if all these years that we attacked these companies here in America and expose them, because I promise you guys, if American public knew what these Shell people are doing to people, nobody will buy their products. We don't even have to do anything else but to bring information and share with the American public on what Shell, ExxonMobil, the rest of their likes are doing to us in Africa.
Yeah, is it not what we thought we wanted to do when we were working with Berima? But he was resisting every move that we made.
Every move, you can tell he's a
bring
agent.
the news out to the people here and do the right thing. He was just all about stealing from our people. It was so crazy. Honestly, people are so wicked. Wow, people are wicked. People, the day the documentation of that evil guy, what he did to the struggle of Ndibo, the day the documentation will come out, I don't know where people will hide their faces. I don't know. These politicians that sponsor, because I'm so sure that the politicians in Anibu sponsored that guy. I'm so sure. They sponsored him to destroy the genuine struggle of our people for emancipation. Delivered evil to them, fake to them. It's unbelievable. Now, people that are calling Chukwu Okike, every corner they expose them, what you see is idol. What is the connection between light and darkness? I thought you people said that you are Umu Chineke. What are you now doing with idols and everything coming out like that with all the charms around you? It shows that what you're doing is fake. You are not representing God. You are not Umu Chineke anything. You are Umu devil. Our land has been bastardized. All sorts of sacrileges, to the extent that the human head is now football on the road. And people are playing the human head on the road, and human beings are walking, passing, normal, as if it's all okay. Can't you see that our land is under a siege? Can't you see that the demons have taken over our land and we need to retrieve our land? It's time to retrieve our land. And like what my sister mentioned about the transition, it's not at the national level. We want that terrorists in charge to leave Aso Rock, step aside like IBB did 1993. Should step aside. Transitional government will be in place with a head. Some people are suggesting good luck. You can see he's speaking out, and he has shown himself that he wants to do the right thing for our people. Of course, with guidance. It's not like we are not saying that, okay, you have to follow one man and be following him. No. Guidance will put the things, he said, do this, and it's a limited time frame. And with mandates specified, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. So he's not going to be there by himself. It's just that we don't want a terrorist in charge while we are going through this transition, because the transition is like birthing a child. When you are giving birth to a child as a woman, you don't want an organ harvester to be the one that will midwife your child, because it's going to kill you and take on your organs. So we don't want that terrorist in charge to be in Aso Rock while we're going through this transitional process. It's at the state level that we're saying the governors at state levels will stay to manage their people and their resources while we're going through this delivery and midwifing of new babies or baby or whatever it is, because we got to change. Things have to change. We don't care what you're doing. Things, you see, God will send us help. You see this help? God will send us help. All the resources we will need to birth this child and take care of this child will come. It will not come from you demonic politicians, because your hand are soiled with blood. The Lord has rejected your money. The Lord has rejected your resources. From to the fourth generation, you have been rejected for what you have done in our land. You politicians, if those that have refused to repent, to the fourth generation, the Lord has rejected you. And you will see that rejection as we move forward. It will be executed by the enemy.
He say, my sister, what a wonderful prayer. All right. So if you go to Lower Niger Congress Facebook account, you can see these little messages that we're sending on the things that we are doing, because I know some of you are not into reading all the long wordings and encyclopedia. But if you go on there, it will show you all the things that we are doing as part of the Nina's movement to bring the 1999 Constitution to a halt. We don't have any choice than to get that done, because if not, the only thing Okrawusa can do in terms of trouble is to lay on the floor and start calling Jesus. You can't even defend yourself. So this is the place that we find ourselves. We need to do better. We need to do better. We're not here gossip, gossip, gossip. You're talking about the same thing. We need solutions, and Nina's has given us the solution. All we need to do is to understand the process, and then we move. We will not allow PDP to come and do bazaar, like my sister said, in our neighborhood. Give each other $20,000. How many delegates do they have? By the time you're finished, they will take all your money and nothing will happen. The rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer. So even in the midst of your hunger, you must be alert. You must be awake. You must be a responsible citizen, because either way, if you're going to die, you're going to die. Why don't you die trying than to die not knowing anything? So we have to do better. Until next week, it looks like we have no call. We'll see you guys. Please help us to share, like, whatever way we need to do for our people to get this information. Tomorrow we'll try to replay this broadcast for our typical time. I'm not gonna be here tomorrow, so that's why we are doing this. So thank you for joining us, and those of you that are constantly part of this program, we want to personally thank you. We want to thank you because it shows that we do have remnants of prophet out there that wants more for our people. So the strategy works and we must use it. Thank you so much and be blessed. Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.